1, 2, testing. Yay, it works. So, welcome to GameDev Meetup 120. And I congratulate you with the start of meteorologiska summer. At least it's supposed to be next week. I don't know, we will see. But one thing that I can promise you is the schedule of today's meetup, and it's packed. So first things first, let's get our seats and get some drinks. And if you followed any of our social media, today is free drinks because we have a sponsor. Now, who is the sponsor? For those of you who have studied in University of Economics and Culture in the first few years, you know this tool, this game engine, really, really well. It's Gamemaker. Just one disclaimer for those of you who feel like going for the very expensive drinks right away. If you're planning to have drinks that are more than €3.50, maybe take one, at least at the beginning, because we do have a set budget. It's not limitless. Yeah, sure, until a certain moment when it's not anymore. So yeah, you can get the free drinks now or later during the entire event. So, next thing, right now we're having the schedule overview, and right after that, buckle in because it is a Latvian success story. Two brothers, Kļaviņi, will tell about their acclaimed game, Case of the Golden Idol. After that, we have the sponsor talking. And for those of you who don't know what Gamemaker is or don't really remember, this is your chance. Now, I will try not to butcher the person's name. Josia Roncancio. I'm sorry. I apologized in advance. And he will talk about Gamemaker and maybe why you should give it a try. Then, I know that some of us have toiled for an entire month, some of you even more, to make a game and submit it to BRSD, or translated from Latvian, stop talking and start doing. And this is the time where you pluck the fruits, because this is the closing ceremony of BRSD. After that, let's look quickly at the news of Latvian games industry, and then I hope you take out your laptops or your tablets or whatever else, and you show your games, you network, and I hope to see a lot of BRSD games here today. So, without further ado, a hearty round of applause to brothers Ernests and Andrejs Kļaviņi and their story about the Case of the Golden Idol.
Hey, hello, it's great to see you all here. Yeah, I'm Andrejs, this is my brother Ernest, who might jump in at any point when he feels like. Yeah, okay, you've attached the thing. Let's wait for it to turn on. Because, yeah, today we decided to try hard a bit, and this is not only a presentation, this is a presentation combined with a quiz throughout the presentation, with points, with a prize of Golden Idol and Golden Idol DLC keys. And what you need to do is, yeah, in your phones, visit this quizzes.com/join and enter the game code. Yeah, parallel to the slides, from time to time, I will ask you a question which will relate to our journey, mostly as a fun exercise, and maybe to improve the engagement. Can you pass me the mouse? But yeah, while people are still doing this, let's just click. Yeah, so the story is the Case of the Golden Idol. Golden Idol is a PC detective game that we started making at the start of 2021, published it last autumn, and it was a surprisingly huge success. And we will go through the development and publishing in chapters. And we'll start with the first chapter, ideas and prototypes. So how we started this. The setting was I had just left my job. I was looking for new things, and meanwhile, Ernest said, "Hey, this is an opportunity to think around with game dev again. Like let's just try out something." And when we approached it, I think already then our long-term goal always had been, okay, yeah, we want to make an indie game which is creatively fulfilling, but we don't want to make it like just to be creatively fulfilled. We want to get profit. So there's always this balance between making something you like and getting money for it. But at that point, short-term goal was, I mean, let's just try out stuff, play around while I find a new job. But yeah, so we sat down and decided, okay, let's prototype. And now we should approach our first question. Let's see if it works. I don't wanna full screen. How do you not full screen it? Yeah, you not full screen it like that. Okay, we have 19 participants. Great. Let's start. You look in your phone. So you have 30 seconds to answer to the question. What was the approach, how we decided what prototype to make? And this is not necessarily an advice, but this is something that we did, and I will comment whether we would do the same thing in the future. Okay, can we see the results? We can see leaderboards, but I don't want leaderboards. Where can we see results? Okay, yeah. It's kind of crap visually, but anyways, yeah. So the option was, we tried out some visuals, which is not what we did. We definitely did not choose our favorite genre, because I believe it's very risky to just take something you really like and feel that you can customize it. And we definitely did not look at like top indie game and just decide to upgrade it, because how would we know that we can even upgrade it? Instead, we decided, okay, let's think what kind of game design problems there are that are unsolved, and now our approach was as follows. So there are loads of games nowadays that like everybody's making them, but at the same time, it does not mean that you can actually find something that you like. Okay, I often struggle finding a mobile game, for instance, that I enjoy. And we're wondering, like, what kind of niche audience might be missing out on something. And one of our ideas was that there are many detective-themed games, but they don't necessarily deliver detective experience. Like the only, not only, but like the biggest example of a game that actually did it was Return of the Obra Dinn by Lucas Pope, which was very successful, very critically acclaimed, but strangely there were no games following its method framework. And so we decided, okay, yeah, so can we make something in that direction? So yeah, that's how we started prototyping. Let's go to the next question. Right, I hate that I can't see the question and answer. Maybe I need chat view. Okay, chat view is a bit better. I mean, now people can statistically see, but let's see if they are right. Okay. Leaderboards, I don't care. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, our approach was very careful in this way. So firstly, we definitely did not play it internally. I mean, we try test on one another, simple puzzles, but it was just to see how it feels like. But relying just on your intuition, like that's risky. You need outside perspective. You need playtesters. You need to show it to other people. The next option, to show it to a lot of people and ask them if they enjoyed it, is not the right answer, because asking if someone enjoyed your game, I think is a bad way how to. You will get a bad answer. Because people say, well, yes, it's nice, like it's cool, because they don't want to offend you. They want to flatter you. They want to get out of this situation where they have to be nice to you. And we did not want it. We wanted like true information, not flattery. So what we did, instead we would ambush our more puzzle-enjoying friends, ask them to play our prototype, and we would just observe them playing it. Like, we wouldn't comment anything. If they got stuck or they got frustrated, we would just silently look at them and furiously take notes and try to kind of catch indications whether this is working, whether it feels like this is an interesting experience to them or not. So we wanted to see kind of proof of action, like after playing it, whether they were curious to get something more. Yeah, so flattery versus real signals was something we were really careful about. It's something in my experience in startups. You don't tell your business idea to your mom. And this was our very first prototype. It's death mystery of Polish student Jonas Sterlich, who is found dead in his dorm room. Super simple, but actually the exploration mechanics is the same as in the final game. You click on objects, you see close-ups, etc. And after building this, we already felt that, okay, the observation part, it's functional, but we still need to nail the way how people communicate answers to the mysteries. Like, they might observe this scene, figure something out, but how do they communicate to the game that they found out something? And then we experimented with some ways, and in the end settled on relatively simple format of you find phrases and you drag them into the slots. And arriving at that point, we decided, okay, like we feel that there is something interesting in this concept. Now let's see if we can build a demo version that's already representative of some kind of product, and if we can figure out how to validate it afterwards, like how we can find out if anyone cares about it. Luckily, there was Springly based Runāt Sāc competition, so we decided, okay, that's our deadline. We're gonna make a demo for that. And so we built our first scenario in 18th century about a dead gentleman in his bed, which featured the mechanic where you click on various places, find phrases, and then you drag them into missing spots in a text. That scenario was pretty small, So we were wondering, okay, but what happens if it gets like more complex? You could play out through the first one like in 10 minutes or 5, it was super easy. Can we make something more complex? So we built the second scenario, Murder in the Little Mermaid Inn, which turned out to be way too difficult. People would get stuck. They did not know how to solve things. They'd put in things in the text and then it was wrong and they'd be frustrated. So I felt, okay, this kind of sucks. We experimented, and eventually we arrived at multiple puzzle panels solution, where in order to solve like the big mystery, people could first fill in and confirm some other details. For instance, identity of every person present. And people really enjoyed filling in the identities. And then we left the third slot for some kind of dynamic puzzle, which could be anything that we needed for the scenario. Once we discovered and validated this solution, we really felt that, okay, this concept seems to be working nicely. Yeah, we made it in time for the competition. We did not get any of the first places. The jury was not impressed, but luckily we won the popular vote of I think 4 or 6 people. So still got some fulfillment in this. But okay, we had built a demo, and now we wanted to validate it somehow. The first thing we did, we showed it to some mentors in oh, I forgot the name, in an accelerator Baltic Explorers. So let's go to the next quiz question. And I'll go. Oh wait, full question view. Yes, this is what I want. Yeah. So what important improvement we had to make to a demo after meeting a mentor? Add a super easy 5-minute intro scenario, make it at least twice as long. Showcase all the features of the game, or include as much as possible backstory, lore, and impressive concept art. Is it done? Can I close it? Yeah, but not every. I'm wondering if I could press it. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. All right. Yeah, majority is correct, and I'm very happy that nobody voted for the last option. It was the shitty option because that definitely does not help your demo version to validate it. But yeah, our mentor. He liked the game, but he said that you need some kind of like easy win. Even if our first scenario was quite short, like 5 to 10 minutes, he said you need an even easier win to get the players hooked in, and it has to be exciting. So we thought, yeah, okay, that makes sense, and we added our prologue scenario, which is super short, very dramatic, very easy and simple. Like it's not that difficult. Who is the victim here and who is the murderer? You just need to name them and name the location. And this really helped to segue people into the game. Served as our tutorial. We did not have any intentional tutorial. We allowed people to figure out how to play the game on their own. Okay, now we come to the question that, okay, we built a demo version, now we need somehow to validate it by gathering wish lists. yeah, during that period was, I would say, quite miserable. We tried quite a lot of things. I spent more than a month attending marketing courses, spamming in the internet everywhere. Wandering through subreddits, doing lots of posting, and yeah, it was stressful. I hated it, and it yielded very little results. All right, excellent. Everyone is experienced with this as well. So firstly, yes, sharing your demo version in game developer communities is useless. Like everyone says, hey, game developers also play games. No, they play only their own game. They don't play any other games. Participating in contests turned out also to be very, very little yield. At the best, we get like maybe 10, 15 wish lists from some of these expositions. Posting in subreddits of similar audience, like we posted in Return of the Obra Dinn subreddit, we posted in adventure games subreddits. There, it actually was pretty good. These raised to become top posts, and we earned like a couple of like some tens of new community members in our Discord. But overall, during this period, we felt, okay, we've gathered something like 200, 300 wish lists. We're really struggling. And mainly it was because our game was not visually exciting. During the period, Martin Staples with Space Wreck won the Pitcher Game event because he had great GIF. Spider Hack was amazing for GIFs, and previous games also, like Cold Wild games, always have triumphed on cute and exciting pixel art. Our game was not exciting for people because there's no action, things happen in your mind. We tried various things, none of them worked. And then finally, when we participated in the Steam Next Fest, like we decided, okay, Steam Next Fest is like in a month's time, let's not drop our project, let's try there. Because there might be some exposition to the audience, we might achieve it. And indeed there was, so we jumped from 300 wish lists to a bit over 2,000 wish lists, which was a definite improvement. But now we felt in a weird place where, okay, we know that you should gather like around at least 10,000 wish lists for your launch, which does not assure your success. But if you don't have these, then the probability of success is very low. But like if we need to do all this work just to gather 2,000, kind of feels that there is no potential in the game. At the same time, 2,000, like it's not nothing. So we were wondering, okay, to drop or not to drop. In the end, we decided, okay, probably we don't need to drop the game, but we need publishers' help. Like the game concept clearly is not viral. It's not like selling itself like crazy. So we come to the chapter 3, looking for publisher. And that is our next question. So yeah, when we started publisher hunting, what was our approach? So what we were looking for mainly, was it successful game track record and limited yearly portfolio, the size of money they were ready to invest in the development, the focus on narrative games in terms of portfolio, or them having a very favorable revenue share. what was our thinking? This is an interesting one because yeah, the point of view we chose has received the least votes, and I will explain why we chose this as our main criteria. Here we kind of turned on our business thinking. I mean, obviously you don't want a shady publisher, you don't want someone who will scam you, so like let's exclude the criteria that you don't want to deal with scammer. Let's assume that it's a good honest publisher. We did not optimize for favorable revenue share because maybe you get a cool revenue share, but the publisher like has no experience, like is just bad. So you will revenue share nothing together. You will get, I don't know, 80% of nothing. Like, congrats. We did not focus on a publisher who necessarily just makes narrative games, because even though it could have been our approach, we were much more interested in a publisher who had achieved kind of big enough reach and didn't have many games at the same time. Because again, you could have a publisher who has many nice narrative games, but they are artsy games, like they maybe sell, like, I don't know, some 1,000 copies or something like that. So we wanted someone who gives us our attention and has achieved good results. That was kind of our thinking. Like, to be super honest, of course, at certain point we'd be happy to go with anyone, but when we were evaluating publishers who expressed their interest, this was our main criteria. And during our publisher hunting, we got approached by a couple other publishers, and one of them was Playtest London. They caught our attention firstly because they were from London, English people, so it was easy to communicate. Secondly, because we knew that Maris had some experience with them in the past, so we could ask him what was his experience like, and he said that the cooperation had been good and nice. And they qualified by having a bigger hit and focusing on maximum 3 games per year, which meant that we wouldn't be like one of the 20 games this publisher is publishing. We'd get a feeling that we'd get some kind of special treatment. And the next question is why they got excited about us. Because they were very honest with us. They had looked at our game at first, and they were not excited, but then something kind of motivated them to look, to actually give it a try, to play it. Was it a big streamer? Was it our amazing pitch deck? Was it Lucas Pope's tweet? Or was it our cunning and mysterious trailer? Right, yes, that is the correct answer. Our trailer was definitely not great. It was okay, but it was not exciting. We were happy that later the publisher created their own trailer, which was much more effective. Because again, it was very difficult to sell the concept in the game with video. Big Streamer had played our demo version, but it did not play such prominent role, and I don't think anyone gets converted by a pitch deck. I think pitch deck is more like hygiene. Like if your pitch deck is crap, then probably you will look bad, but I think it's unlikely that someone will get very excited just by the pitch deck. But the fact that we had emailed Lucas Pope, our demo version, sometime in spring. He had actually played it the same day, responded that he had really enjoyed it. That firstly gave us huge morale boost because we went, oh my God, Lucas Pope, author of Return of the Obra Dinn, actually answered us. And secondly, he agreed to give us kind of a viral tweet where we hope that maybe this will be like the thing that makes our game go viral. It didn't, but Playstack noticed it, remembered it, and thought, okay, if Lucas Pope is excited about this, maybe we should take a look again as well. So yeah, short info. What was our deal like when we signed the contract? So they invested 40,000 euros in the development and up to 35,000 euros in marketing. And our deal was that before recoup is the amount of sum that the publisher has to earn back. And once they've earned back their investment, then starts the after recoup period. So at first, there's like huge 80% advantage to the publisher. Once they get back their around 70,000 investment, then there's a small advantage in our favor. We were a bit stressed about signing a contract. I hired a lawyer to review it, but in the end, like it ended all very well, and the publisher thought that contract is just a thing that we have to do. Like fundamentally, we just want to have good cooperation. So now we had a publisher, we had signed contract, they had invested some money in us finishing the game. So from last year's January till last year's October, we had to build up a milestone plan how we will finish the game and then actually finish it and launch it. And during that period, we built much more levels. When we signed the contract with the publisher, we had, I think, 5 scenarios, so we added more. We continued to flesh our story. The game in later phases became much more complex and challenging and mysterious. And we reworked our chapter screen where the publisher gave us lots of feedback. And we really enjoyed the cooperation because they said, okay, you have all full creative freedom, but we are super happy to ask for the feedback and actually get their input, and the feedback often was valuable and actionable. So this is, there are 8 questions in total. This is 7th question. Yeah, I should show it. So we had made this plan, we were working in the game. Why, if we did have a very smooth development period? Is it because we had allotted much more time than we needed? Whether it because we had already built the core gameplay and it was more easy to estimate the content building, or whether it was because we had built a super detailed game design document, or the development period was not smooth. I'm just talking bullshit. Yep. Okay. I'm close to ending. That's great. Oh, wait. I launch the next question. Okay, fine. I have only 1 minute, so let's go to the next question. But fill in the next question, and then I'll answer the previous question and this question as well. Okay, we have a winner who is Jazeps. And oh, this is Actually, second option also is good one, but yeah. Now to turn to the presentation and kind of comment on the answers. So yeah, once publisher joined, so firstly, we did well because we could estimate well our work on how much content we needed, because developing features is much less reliable than developing content. Like, we knew that we needed roughly a month to create a scenario. And then once the publisher joined and launched the marketing campaign, things set off and we gathered slightly over 20,000 wish lists on launch. Then launch happened, and gradually we got loads and loads of critical success. We got in lots of end of year best game lists, how huge positive percentage in Steam, and we've sold around 16,000 copies at the moment. And yeah, and we truly believe that even though the fact that there was audience for our game, the fundamental reason we were successful was that we tested it really a lot, because there might have been an audience for our game, but we still could have made crap and they not enjoy it. But luckily we playtested the shit out of it, and people love it. Yeah, that was question 8. Thank you for your attention. I owe Jazep's 2 keys, which I will email to him later. Yeah, Q&A.
So now is the chance for you to ask questions. Anyone has questions?
So thank you for your presentation, and I saw that you already released the first DLC for the game. Is that correct? So can you talk about your plans for future support for the game, and how did you arrive at the model that you did?
Well, building DLC was kind of easy choice because our game is narrative game, and some kind of like chapter or DLC format seems nice for it. And we also did it because we don't need to build a new game. Like, we can capitalize on our existing one. That's why we chose it. Unfortunately, I can't speak anything about our future plans, except we do plan to keep making something detective, mystery, and narrative rich.
Quick follow-up, how did the DLC perform, if you can say?
It's I can't say. I don't know if I should. No, I mean, I don't know if I can, but I will. According to our publisher, their estimate is that usually DLCs reach 10% of the base game copies sold over the period of 12 months, which means if we have 60,000 copies, we should sell like 6,000 copies over 12 months. But they thought, okay, but our game is kind of like narrative game. Maybe we'll have an aggressive projection of 20%. So we need to reach 12,000 copies in 12 months. This is like 6th day after the launch, and we are at 14,000 copies. So we're definitely ahead of our projection.
Any more questions?
How much did you have to iterate when creating the levels? Was all the testing you mentioned more towards new content or tweaking existing? Yeah, existing.
Overall, I would say we had to iterate quite a lot. In early stages, like one of the longer periods was us just discussing and deciding what's going to be in the scenario, like how it connects to the big story, what's like individual mystery. Then we have long discussions, sometimes like a week or too long even. Then we'd build early prototype, test it. Usually we detect in which parts it sucks, or does it suck completely. Then we do rework it or tweak it. And at some point we would arrive at the polishing stage where we feel, okay, fundamentally this works, we just need to iron out some kinks. I'd say we'd go through like 6 to 8 iterations on average.
Any more questions? So I have a question. When did you start to talk about your game? How long did you keep it under the lid? How did you know that it's enough to keep it under the lid? And with whom you spoke and with whom you avoided telling something?
We did not keep it under the lid at no point. I mean, we had to keep it under the lid once we had contact with publisher, because publisher has the marketing plan. But before that, we would talk about it to anyone because we did not see any value in keeping it under the lid.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Did you have a dedicated team of playtesters, or did you kind of try to do a unique person every time you had a new iteration?
We had an involuntary dedicated team of our friends and family, people who we knew that could represent target audience well enough, and they, I guess they represented various types of players. Like we had like quick thinking players, or we had players who'd get like lost in all the details because we wanted to see how the game performs like with I don't know, more deductive person and less deductive person. But yeah, mostly friends and family.
Any more questions? So I have another one. When you talked to the publisher, did at any point you presented any proof of interest, like, I don't know, followers on Reddit to your game or whatever else?
Yes, publisher wanted to see like all traction that we had gathered, like how many wishlists we'd have, what's the biggest video with our game, any kind of data, like biggest Reddit threads. They wanted to see any presence of our game.
Right, any more questions? If not, then again, a big round of applause. But right next, we have our guest from Germany, and he will talk about Gamemaker. What is it, and why you should try it out?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Josia, and I'm here on behalf of Gamemaker. And I'm going to give a quick presentation about Gamemaker and why you should give it a try. I heard some of you already know the engine, but I'll still talk about it anyway. First of all, a little bit about me. Who am I? I'm Josia. I have a very complicated last name, so I'm not even going to mention it. I've been making games for about 15 years now. I started when I was still in school. I taught myself using Gamemaker, actually. After that, I studied game design in Germany at a university. I founded my own indie studio with a bunch of friends. We released our first commercial game like 5 years ago. And now I'm a freelance programmer and game designer. Some of the titles I've worked on are this game, which is called Dio. This was the first commercial release I had with my friends. It's like a local co-op platformer about two minotaurs who are trying to escape from a maze. And the twist is that you can like jump between the two halves of a split screen. It's on Steam, you can check it out, it's free as well. Then the last game that I worked on that was released was called Cats Organized Neatly, which is pretty much what it says on the box. It's a game about organizing cats neatly. It's a very chill puzzle game. It's not very complicated or anything. But yeah, if you want to have a good time and just push some cats around and relax, that's a cool thing to play. And then the title I'm working on right now is called Feed All Monsters. It's hopefully going to release this year. And it's another puzzle game about feeding monsters on floating islands. I'm also working as a Gamemaker coach together with Gamemaker. So I sometimes do online webinars where I give like coachings about specific topics. It's mostly beginner stuff, like how to use a specific feature or like how to get started with Gamemaker overall. You can check those out on the Gamemaker YouTube channel if you're interested. Yeah, and I also worked on a lot of small game jam games over the years. I really like to explore ideas very quickly, and game jams are a perfect opportunity to do that. And yeah, here's some screenshots of the stuff I have done over the years. You can kind of tell that I'm not an artist because they are not visually very striking, but I promise that some of them were kind of fun to play at least. And yeah, over the years I have tried out a lot of different game engines. Like when I was studying, we did the typical Unity, Unreal. I've tried a lot of smaller game engines as well. But I keep coming back to Gamemaker for several reasons, and I'm going to try to explain to you why maybe you should give it a try as well. So yeah, what is Gamemaker? I guess like some of you have already heard about it. Like, do people know what Gamemaker is? Who has heard about Gamemaker? Like most people, yes, okay, yeah. So Gamemaker is the ultimate 2D game engine. That's what they say on their website. I kind of just stole that from there. It has a bunch of features. It's like basically an all-in-one game engine with editors for everything you need if you want to make a game. That's code, graphics, levels, cutscenes and animation, tile sets, and a lot more. It has other features as well, like customizable workspaces, powerful debug tools, online multiplayer support. You can export to all major platforms. But really, if you've worked in games, you probably know all the stuff. Like all major platforms, all major game engines have these features. They're not really anything special, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about them because the features aren't really what makes Gamemaker special. So instead I'm going to just talk about what, for me personally, has made it an engine that I do like to come back to all the time, basically. So what does Gamemaker special? For me, it's like 3 pretty simple points. The first one is it's super easy to learn. For me, I didn't have to study to learn this. I was still in school when I decided to explore game development. And the thing about Gamemaker is you can use code to script and to write your game, but it also has the option to use a visual scripting language where you can just push around pre-made functions in an editor, and you don't actually have to learn how to program. I think for a lot of people who are trying to get into game development and don't really know where to start and maybe don't know anything about programming, this is a great way to get into that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and show this in Gamemaker real quick, just so you can see what that looks like. So this is Gamemaker. If I go ahead and want to just add something to the game, I can create a game object, give it a sprite, which I already put into the project here, and then it works like this, that you have to kind of give it certain events and then decide what should happen when a certain event happens. So for example, if I want to say, hey, the player is supposed to walk to the right side, if I press the right arrow key, I just add an event for whenever the player presses the right arrow key, like this. And then here you can decide if you want to actually use code or this visual scripting language. For now, I'm going to use the visual scripting language, do it like that. And then you can see here, there's like a bunch of things you can just pull in here and decide what's supposed to happen. For our case, we want it to move. I'm just going to put some movement functions in here. We're going to change the speed, the direction of the player to go to the right, and then we're going to change its speed to be 10 pixels per frame. And just like that, we have some basic game logic without writing any actual code. And as you can see, like depending on the type of function, it's very easy to understand. You don't have to really figure out a lot to get behind this. Actually, let's just try out how this works. I'm going to add this object to the game and press run, and just like that, we'll have this little Eggman. And if I press the right, well, you can't really see it, but I'm going to press the right now, and it's just going to start moving to the right like that. And then the great thing about this is that once you're trying to transition from this visual scripting language to actually learning how to program, a very nice feature of Gamemaker is that it actually allows you to convert this visual scripting stuff into actual code. So to show that right here, I'm going to just convert this to GML code, and Gamemaker uses its own language, which is GML, which is super simple to get behind and learn. But as you can see, this is basically what I just had as like these visual scripting blocks converted to code. So once you want to take the next step, which you don't need technically if you don't want to actually ever get into programming, you can do everything you do in programming with these visual scripting blocks, but it's a lot more efficient to actually get into the scripting at some point. And just to show another example of how a bit of a more complex project is going to look like. If you've done programming, you'll see that the programming language here is super simple. Like you can kind of understand it even if you don't know GML, which is the Gamemaker language. That's why it's super easy to learn, and then it's also super quick to work in, because you don't have to worry about a lot of stuff that you would have to worry about in other engines. So I'm gonna go back here. Yeah, so as I said, it's super easy to learn, and usually since I started being in game development, like a lot of my friends tell me, oh, I've always tried to make my own game, but I don't really know where to start and stuff like that. And I always recommend Gamemaker, because for me it was super easy to learn by myself. And I think for a lot of people who don't know programming, it's the perfect tool. Then there's the quick workflow. Even if you already know how to program, I think Gamemaker is a great tool. I know how to program now, and I still use it, just because it's so easy to make your ideas come to life really, really quickly. And that's especially great for game jams, for example, where you have like a very limited time frame. Like for example, back in Germany, we used to have these game jams that would last like 8 hours. And in 8 hours, like if you use certain other engines, you barely get to set up like a scene, and don't really have a lot of time to experiment with like different mechanics and stuff like that. But even outside of game jams, and if you're using other game engines, GameMaker can be a cool tool because you can also use it to prototype ideas that you can then develop in another engine. For example, like if you're just trying to start out with a new project and you have like this really cool mechanic that you want to work with, but you don't really know if it's even going to work, because game development is a lot of like guessing and trying out and then figuring out it doesn't actually work. In GameMaker you can really quickly prototype it, just play around with some very basic 2D gameplay, and then if it works, you can then like flesh it out more in another engine, and yeah, you can use it even if your main engine is something else. And I know a lot of people also whose main engine is something else, and they use it for prototyping, or they use it for just game jams, for example, and stuff like that. You don't have to completely convert to GameMaker, but it's a good addition to any game developer's repertoire, I think. And then the third thing is the GameMaker community is really great. Basically, since GameMaker is only really used for indie games, GameMaker, like the company, really loves indie studios. So actually, that's also why I'm here in the end, because I got in touch with the GameMaker people just because we made a game in GameMaker and it was kind of decent, and they started talking to us about it. And at first they asked us, hey, do you want to write like a blog post about the development of the game? And then they helped us get into some bundles on Steam. They offered to get us into Humble Bundle and stuff like that. And yeah, basically I know the team behind GameMaker right now, even though I'm not really someone who goes out and does like the networking part of game development, which is very important. But yeah, so if you make a decent game with GameMaker and like share it on social media, tweet about it, chances are that you'll get approached by the people behind GameMaker, and they'll be able to feature you on their showcases, on their websites, maybe even offer you to do like some online coaching like I do now, and then in the end maybe send you to events like this, which for me is also the first time. But yeah, and also yeah, they might sponsor your event and give you free drinks, which is great. Hope you enjoy those. Yeah, okay, so what can you make in GameMaker? You've probably played one game at least that has been made in GameMaker. You can make everything technically. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say, because GameMaker is a very powerful engine, and people are usually surprised when I tell them that I work in GameMaker, because they think it's kind of like a children's engine that doesn't really have the capabilities to make any standout great games. But yeah, you can make anything as long as it's in 2D. GameMaker has like 3D capabilities as well, but it's really not optimized or focused on it. So I wouldn't recommend using it if you're trying to get a 3D project running. But for 2D it's great, and so yeah, that's pretty much that. So, oh, that's not supposed to be there yet, but yeah, where should you use GameMaker? Obviously everywhere, yeah, it's a great tool, but more importantly, you should use it at Castle Game Jam, which is happening next year. I'm not sure if that's like something. Oh, yeah, next month. I'm sorry. It's happening next month this year in Jan Pils, right? Yes. I think Laura is part of the organizing team. Yes, you know more. Yes. I'm not quite sure how it's supposed to work, but there's going to be 50% off your ticket sponsored by GameMaker if you want to attend the event and use GameMaker for the game jam. I think if you're interested in that, get in touch with either me or Laura after this. And yeah, I will be there too. I will be there for the whole week, and be serving as an on-site GameMaker coach. So if you have any questions, if you want to try it out for the first time, and you need some assistance with that, I'll be there all week and be answering any questions and helping you get started with the whole thing. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've wanted to say. If there's any questions, I'm here to answer them. Otherwise...
So, any questions? Yeah, let's applaud. Let's applaud. You made a trip from Germany, right? Just for this event. Thanks. So, any questions?
So I broke this glass. Yeah, first of all. I wanted to ask, how did you transition from using the drag and drop blocks to actually programming with the language?
So actually, as I showed before, now you can like convert one thing to the other. But when I started out with Gamemaker, that wasn't really an option. So you had to kind of choose between using the drag and drop stuff and the scripting stuff. But you could also like insert some scripting passages into your drag and drop alignment. So kind of whenever I was like, I'm kind of trying to do this in code, I would just take a specific passage and try to figure out this one part, how I can do it in code. And so I would like slowly replace like small parts of it with code until in the end I would do like everything in code basically, which is I think a good way to learn, because you can directly translate what you did with the drag and drop stuff to how it works in the code, and then you can like go at your own pace. You don't have to do everything in code from right away, and you can kind of pick and choose the easy parts and then work your way up.
Any more questions? Please, no more broken glasses, though.
Sorry if you already answered this, but is Gamemaker free or do you have to pay?
There is a free option of Gamemaker, but it only allows you to export for the Gamemaker specific gaming browser, which is the Opera GX game browser. Maybe you've heard about it. If you want to export for Windows and Mac, you'll have to pay, I think it's $9.99 per month for a standard license. And then for other exports, it's like, yeah, depending on what you want to export for, that's basically the different tiers. But all of the features are in the basic version as well. So if you want to just give it a try, you can like try around with it and then wait until you actually want to release it to start paying.
Any? Yes.
Is there an option or a function where you can like script your own blocks, like program your own blocks that you draw, like when you visual script? Can you add that?
Sorry, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Program your own blocks of what?
Okay, so there's the visual scripting, and you can also program there, right? Like add your own code, and can you make your own block that, like, you know, if you had some function or something that you wanted to repeat a lot of times, not repeat.
Yeah, I understand what you say now. I don't think there is that option right now. Like, you basically mean like making like a function yourself, and then in the drag and drop interface, I don't think that's currently possible. Like, you can like copy and paste certain stuff around into different areas, but it's not as versatile as code. So yeah, that's another reason why it's good to, at some point when the project reaches a certain complexity, just move to code like that. Yeah.
Any more questions? So I have one. How easy it is to pick up Gamemaker at the start? Like, do you need to know something, or can you just call your kids and they say, "Hey, we're making games"?
I need to know. I think you need to know how to read, so that's like a certain starting point, and like some basic math is also good to know, but you don't need to know any programming basics or anything like that. And also, what's really convenient is you have like all the tools within GameMaker. Like in other engines, like if you want to draw the graphics and stuff, you'll still have to switch to like, I don't know, Photoshop or like some other image editing program. In GameMaker, you can basically do most of it except for sound effects, which you can't really make in engine, but you can make all of the other resources. You can create them yourself in GameMaker, and it actually has a pretty decent image editor as well, where you can like do animations and stuff like that. So yeah, no, for GameMaker itself, you don't really have to have any prior knowledge, and that's why I think it's like a really good tool to start.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? If not, then I have a question for you. First of all, a big round of applause. Thank you for coming over. And now I have a question for you. Do we do a break right now, or do we go and have BRSD awards right now? Don't you dare to finish that sentence. Don't. So, okay.
I have a question. Did you ever kiss someone in the crowded room and all of your friends were making fun of you, but 30 seconds later they were clapping too? It's Taylor Swift lyrics. I just wanted to drag time because you seemed like not very comfortable with the stuff. I feel like we should like take a small break and actually say hi to everyone, and then just like as it planned.
Okay, guys, so a break till how much? Till 8:40. 8:40, and then we have the award ceremony. Welcome. Okay, we are starting BRSD Awards. So, a round of applause for Elvis.
Hello, hello, hello. Blank. No spoilers. Like. Let's see. Blank. Check it out. Let's go. So welcome to BRSD Awards, and let's start with as always, BRSD is supported by our donators, and these are the donations. And as the participants and donators agreed, we'll not disclose the amount of donations here. So this is the list of all donators. And so we have more than 900 euros donated this year. 723 euros are donated for the prizes, and 206 euros went to the Ukraine, to different programs. So thank you all. And from the donated money, 50% will go to the first place, which is 361 euros and 50 cents. The second place will get 30% of the amount, which is 216 euros and 90 cents. And the third place will get the remaining 20%, which is 144 euros and 60 cents. There were 16 games submitted, and let's see all of them. Let's go. Oh, let's test if the sound works. Yes, let's go.
you take a sick boat? To the dock. You think trains run on time? Where do you take a sick boat? To the dock. You think trains run on time?
What would you do when stuck in a hot car? Would you make enough noise?
I want to break free.
Thanks again to all the participants, and let's move on to the awards. I will announce the third place now, and the third place goes to
As I was saying, where do you take a sick boat? To the dock. You'd think trains run on time.
So, Jazeps, come here and so congrats. Congrats. And do you want to say some words?
So where did Napoleon keep his armies? In his sleeveys.
Thank you. Yep, photo. Now the second place. And the second place goes to
I didn't know I will win, so I don't have a speech. Sorry.
And now the winner. Who is this year's winner? Do you know? Maybe you can try and guess. Yeah, of course, everyone. Any guesses? Who is the winner? Sulsglaze. Any other guesses? Friends we made along the way, of course. So the winner is So you won the third or fourth time now. You stopped counting after the second, right? So yes. So tell us what's the formula? How to win this contest?
I just make games. I don't know. Make it pixely and retro. Retro games are the best. That's the formula. Make a retro game.
Here you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thanks again to all the participants. Here's the last standing. You can check it out. All the 16 games. Have you found your game? Okay, this will be posted on gamedev.lv. Go check it out. Thank you. And now the game. The game. The rules are simple, but this time a little bit different. Whoever wants a drink goes there and gets a free drink. That's the game today. And thank you all, and see you in the next GameDev Meetup.
So, because of BRSD, we are skipping show and tell today, but not the game's playtesting. But before that, can you please put back my presentation, because there are some news and announcements. Oh, you're gonna contest me on the. Do you want to show something? Fine. Okay. The people have voted. So, who first?
Okay. I just wanted to tell, I'm creating online, like multiplayer, open world Dwarf Fortress. So that a Settletopy, you saw probably video where you could build something, your settlement. And if you are interested, come later if you like management games, and you can like try it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Show and tell. I can tell you something, because we have a budget now. We're gonna finish the game. So yeah.
I wanted to show you some designs, concept art. That is Nietzsche. We didn't have time to implement it in the game, and if we find a publisher for the visual novel, then we will continue the work on it. So if you have any advice for that, then you can come to me and say, here's advice. I'm also working on a board game. You can try it out if you have time. It's quite long. It's strategy board game. And during the last month, I was thinking about how it could be called. And basically, the story behind the game is that I'm making a strategy game on a computer. And it was kind of difficult, so I got stuck, and I thought maybe I'll make a board game. And the strategy game is called Centurion Rex, and I was thinking how could it be called. And for now, the name is Romulus Rex, which is also a name for one hotel in near Vatican, but it's not very popular, so I think it's fine. What else I did? I simplified some cards and did some playtesting, and I wrote to Brain Games, but right now they are not looking for games until the end of the year, so I'm still looking for publisher. So yeah, these are my contact information, and if you have some ideas or advice, you can come to me or contact me on Twitter. Thanks. Anyone else?
Yes, Proud just put it in. I have announcement to make for my project, and it has a 2-minute gameplay trailer. Dreadful. Yes. Yeah, I need we're gonna need a little bit audio for this. My game has actually an audio in it. So the whole game is really, really dark, and it looks like you're seeing kind of nothing on projection, but you should be able to see something. But yeah, the whole game is like a passion project of mine. It's been I've been doing it for a few years. It has gone through a lot of refactoring, and basically you're stuck in a script with some baddies, and you kill them, and it's really, really dark in here. And one of the gameplay features is that you get a crossbow that you can load with various bolts, and some of those bolts illuminate your way, and you could set enemies on fire. I always wanted to make a horror game that I would like to play myself, and this is what I'm working on. My goal is not to get a like publisher or something. It's just I want to make something that has like a zombie with a flare up its ass, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna work more on AI. I'm gonna use blended animations, and I think in the next meetup or someone I'll get something that you might be able to play it. Yes, they're burping. The zombies have gastrointestinal problems. Vienkārši izspraudu viņu. Vienkārši izspraudu viņu, nekas nenotiks. Aiztais ciet, ko viņš lieto, un viss būs labi.
Sveiki, bet mums ir iespējams parādīt, ja jums ir tas Opera GX gadījumā nav instalēts. Jā, tas vienīgā iespēja, kā mēs varētu parādīt.
Jums nav savs dators vai?
Nē, nebija.
Tad var kāds cits atnāk, tomēr kāds cits runājas un pamēģināt. Opera GX. Nē, nav.
Anyone else has something to tell instead of show while we're doing? No. No. The announcements. Yeah, we actually can do the announcements, but fine without my slides. Great. I spent... No, I can... Fine. Fine. I wanted to not let the people, but then I had a popular revolt. Okay, let's wait a little bit while they set up. Meanwhile, what can we do meanwhile? Bad or dad? I can do only bad jokes. I'm not a dad. Bad jokes, okay. What jokes? No. No. You are really into putting me in a spot today. So, okay. Oh, he knows. Yeah. Sorry, you shouldn't talk.
All right. This one's in Latvian. So, kā sauc korporāciju, kuru vada zīvis? Korporācija.
Anyone else have some bad or dad jokes? Or did it just launch? Well, you're the guilty party, so tell me a bad joke.
Wow, don't put so much pressure on me. Okay. So, NASA tried to open the bar on the moon, right? But it didn't take off because the atmosphere was just in there.
Oh.
I have two. One was, I already said one, but there are two. The first one, I'm going to repeat myself. What do you call cow without feet, legs? Ground beef. The second one, what did a buffalo say to his son when sending son to college? Yeah, answer it.
Bye, son.
Okay, I feel like we just kind of looked into a Pandora box. So anyone else? Silence. How are you doing with the setup? Wow, okay, that was definitive. Can I give, okay, I can give the mic.
So I didn't think I would be even presenting anything tonight, but we have started to, no, I'm from Riga. So we have started making a game thanks to lockdowns. And I'm the artist, and we're a team of two. The other guy, I haven't met him in 10 years, but so we work remotely. The other guy is coding, and we both are designers, and the other guy does the level design, the music. So Fatal Crate. It's basically, it's about throwing objects. At first we wanted to be able to throw anything, but that was too much work, so maybe for the sequel, if ever, but for now, it's just throwing crates. That's my voice. Not all abilities are enabled, but from the start you can do knee slides. Yeah, it's turned off right now. But wall jumps, double jumps, you can climb pipes, and you never, whatever you do, you never have to drop the box. So if your hands are taken, for example, by climbing a pipe, which I hope I will be able to show. Then the character just grabs the box with his legs, and so you can throw with your legs too. And the enemies have a bit of AI, simple AI, so they have eyesight, so they will only attack at you if they actually see you. I hope I can reach the boss fight real quick. This is just one of the levels. I think it's the only level in the demo. We have this. Yeah, we can climb, and yeah. So here's and throw with your legs. So you never have to drop the box, whatever you do, and there will be some ability growth, but nothing too deep. I think there's invincibility. What? The point is what? I'm sorry.
He asked if you have played your game before.
Yeah. I have, but not with a keyboard, you know. It's different. It works with the controller, so. Yeah, luckily there's invincibility turned on. Because it's a bit difficult to throw diagonal with a keyboard. Yeah, I really want to show the boss. And that should be the end of it. Don't worry.
Laura, we still have announcements, right?
Yeah.
I'm not stopping, I'm just asking.
Do we have a minute? We have to see the boss. God damn it, I fucking suck. Well, you know, I'm not coding, I'm just drawing it. So, that was good, that was bad. Yeah. Oh, I can try a different route, so that doesn't work. Anyway, if I take too long, well, feel free to ask me. I can send a demo to you if you're interested. Fucking snipers. All right. I won't waste any more time, but yeah. So. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Before you run away, I have a question. Are you sure the other guy exists?
Yeah, I think. Well, I haven't seen him, but...
Sounds great. So, why not? Okay. Yeah. So it sounds good. So anyone else has anything to show and or tell? If not, then up to the announcement. So the first thing, next meetup is moved 1 week ahead. So 7th of June, not 14th of June. The reason why it's moved is because next month is Castle Game Jam, and I am actually really nervous about it. We have quite a lot of attendees from all around the world, from different parts of Europe. We have Germans, we have a lot of Swedes, Poles, from people coming over from Romania, people coming over from America, from Brazil. So I think we have a French dude. I'm quite sure. Anyways, we're still selling tickets up to the 28th of May. So this month, and that's it. But you guys, especially you guys, have a chance to get a ticket for 50% if you make your game with Gamemaker, right? If you want that discount, just go up and talk to me and we'll get it settled out. And in addition to that, 17th of June, so that is the very last day of Castle Game Jam, is a conference. And that is free for absolutely everybody. You don't need to sign up, you don't need to do anything, you just go to the castle and you attend the conference. So, another event that is free for everybody is AR/VR Hackathon in Vidzeme University. But here you do have to sign up. So the dates are 19th to 21st of May. Could be a good opportunity. Now the next thing, and this, however, is members only, so Latvian Game Developers Association members only. There is a seminar, a workshop, it's in Latvian, it's called Darījuma pārunu prasmju attīstības praktiskā darbnīca. So if you're interested, just talk to me. You don't need to pay anything if you're a member. Another members only thing is a completely paid trip to China to learn about the Chinese market. So that's 21 days for companies only. Yes?
What's the dates?
They don't have dates yet. They're just having this sign-up form and they're looking how many are interested. So if you are interested, if you want a fully paid trip to China to learn about the Chinese market and you are a representative of a small or middle-sized company, then just talk to me. Yeah, it's not for how do you call it, private people? No, it's for companies only. And that's all for the announcements. So the game is yes, questions.
What happens at Castle Game Jam conference? What's the last day? It's free for all. What happens?
So we have 2 tracks. There are 2 topics. One of the topics is formal education in game development in Baltics. And the second topic is creating and running your own indie game development company. So we have local speakers as well as international speakers. And in addition to that, you will be able to test the games made during Castle Game Jam. You, of course, are free to roam the castle. And also we're having the awards and the ending ceremony for Castle Game Jam. So I also want to get our Minister of Culture. Let's see if I get a rejection letter for that. But yeah. So, any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What do you call a fish with no eyes?
I told you we opened a Pandora's box. You can just go at it. Yeah. Any more dad jokes, please address it to Jazeps. I am electing him the official person of dad jokes of this association. So, if you put on next slide, then that's it from the official part. I hope that people are gonna now showcase their games, and let's meet next month. You have a question.
Is there a discount for Castle Game Jam?
You missed it. Like, are you pulling my, like, okay. For everyone, and Jazips, especially for Jazips, there's a discount for Castle Game Jam if you make your game with Gamemaker. It's 50%. Talk to me if you want to. Okay, I'm stopping this